Hey guys, it's Danny. Alrighty, today we will be attempting to save an orchid. And it's this beautiful thing which was sent by Jessica in Germany. Thank you so much. This is actually coming from Schwerter. And guess what? It didn't actually make, or rather spend so many days on transport. So who knows? Maybe I'm gonna attempt a haul from Schwerter as well. I will just wait for the heat to pipe down and then I'll try it. Who knows? Maybe the transport repaired itself. But sadly, we do have a little problem with this one. So this is a Mule Ear Oncidium. It is not called an Oncidium anymore. I forgot what it's called right now, but the species, or actually genus, is Tramineum. It's a beautiful kind of whitish Mule Ear Oncidium, and I kind of really like these types of Oncidiums. Even though I don't have too many in my collection, I really like how they look like. So I am a little gutted about what happened to this one. So I recently received it, and after a week or so I noticed this leaf, which used to be here, started to change color, and it actually came off. So you can see we have a serious case of black rot right here. So I sprayed with hydrogen peroxide and I thought things ended there. However, they didn't. This morning I noticed another one. This is not as infected, but as you can see, we are still talking about the same infection. So black rot is definitely something to take care of. I was not expecting it to be so bad, but it is. We need to unmount this orchid. I was still keeping it mounted and watering it and actually soaking it, and give it a moment to start produce some new roots, because this looks like a fresh pseudobulb which had a growing root, but all of a sudden it just stopped growing. I thought it was just adjusting to my environment, but no, it was actually this rot. So right now we need to unmount this orchid and spray everything with hydrogen peroxide, cut away the pieces of the rhizome which are infected, and this will be difficult because this orchid is so compacted. It has very tiny pseudobulbs, extremely short rhizomes. Therefore, I really wanted to film it and document it, since it's the very first time that I deal with something like this, and I don't know how many of you had to cut rhizomes on Mule Ear Oncidiums. And P.S. yes, I've changed my potting tray to a black one. It is identical to the green one that I have, but I don't know if you noticed, the green one made my camera settings go all crazy and the colors actually changed while I was filming. And that kind of annoyed me, so I got the very same potting tray but in black. Alrighty, so the first thing that I will do is to water, or actually soak, the roots in this mount, the ceramic mount, and then I will attempt to unmount the orchid. Okay, so my mount is wet. I can start to detach this orchid. And P.S. if you ever want to unmount a brand new orchid, make sure that you first cut the wire that ties the orchid to the mount. More often than not, they do use a sort of wire. It can be raffia, it can actually be floral wire, so just look on the back, and if you see something tied, get rid of that first. Otherwise, the orchid will not come out of the mount. You will start to pull on it, you'll start to break it, so yeah. So now let's see how attached is this orchid. Oh, it's actually coming out super fast. I love these clay mounts. Roots don't tend to attach all that much to them. Okay, this root will be more problematic. Let's see about this one. I'm not even sure if this is alive, but I will just assume it is and be gentle with it. It has a lot of algae on it, so it's hard to tell. And this swirl is a root killer usually. Oh, no, it's okay. Alrighty, that was a success. And it was actually a little bit easier than I expected, so okay, I need to clean my gloves a little bit. I have a lot of algae on them. Okay, so as I was saying, this orchid grows very compact. Can you even tell? Where are the pseudobulbs? Where is the rhizome? It's so hard to tell. But I just want to take a look inside and see how advanced actually the infection is. So the next pseudobulb, I think, is this one. And I don't see any blackening, I have to say. Let's remove this sheath. Okay, I'm gonna need a pair of tweezers. Having a pair of tweezers in your growing area is so helpful, especially for miniatures or compact orchids. So there we go, we can remove a few sheets gently, just so we see better what's going on here. And I don't think the pseudobulb is rotten or anything. I do see a little kink in the leaf, but it appears to be a little dry already, so I don't think, no, that's not problematic at all. And you can see the tiny cute little pseudobulb here. Am I focused? Yeah. that's the pseudobulb. How amazing is that? It's just so tiny. So I don't feel it's rotten. However, I don't think this is the next pseudobulb. I have a leaf pointing downwards here, so I think that is the next pseudobulb after these ones that rotted. So I think we need to turn the orchid upside down to take a look at this guy. It is just so hard to see in here, oh my goodness. Okay, so I've removed a few sheaths, and this right here is the pseudobulb. I have to tell you, it is slightly darker in color, but it's not blackened. It might not actually be infected. But one thing is for sure, we need to get rid of these two and the rhizome, because the rhizome does carry the infection. And that's gonna be so tricky to do. Where is the rhizome? If you see it, tell me. I don't. So first, I think I'm just gonna pull a little bit just to see where I should cut. Okay, I think I see. I think I should cut here. Let's see if it just wants to come apart. No, it doesn't wanna, and I feel like I will break more than I should. So I'm gonna attempt to cut it. Really hard to stay in focus here, you guys, so I'm sorry if I won't. I'm gonna do my best. Okay, let's cut here. It's 2-way up, and you can see the infection is still here. I need to cut more than this, but I'm afraid. Alrighty, it doesn't really look like fusarium, does it? No, it's just an infection. Well, it's not just an infection, it's black rot. Okay, I think we can go further down from here. Let's see. Yes. And we still have black. We still need to cut. Oh, this was pretty deep. And we don't have black anymore, which is good news. But then we have this pseudobulb here, which has a root attached to it, which seems to be okay. Let's see. About the infection in this pseudobulb. It's black. It is very, very black. I need to cut more, but where? Okay, so I've tried to cut away as much as I could off camera. I'm still not pleased with it, but I cannot cut anymore. So this is where the first pseudobulb was, and you can see there's no blackening. So I did a good job on this one. However, the one in the back still has some black there, and I'm not happy about that, but I cannot cut anymore. Maybe I can try to scrape a little bit. I'm not sure how this is working. Maybe this works. Okay, this might be a good idea. Okay, so I scraped, and this is the best I can do. It's so hard to work on this orchid, but quite interesting. So I don't want to remove this pseudobulb right here. Even if it looks a little darker, it might just be normal. I don't have enough experience with these orchids to tell you if this is starting to rot or not. I actually see it has an available eye here. If that's an eye, it's so incredibly tiny. Actually, I can see it better on the viewfinder. So I will leave that one because the leaf obviously looks okay, and hopefully the infection didn't reach there, but I'm a little worried about this one. I would have felt so much better if I could completely remove everything that is black, but I cannot, and I just scraped deep down inside, and I'm afraid if I'm gonna scrape even more, I'm gonna remove this pseudobulb right here as well, which I don't want to do. So let's hope this is enough and this is okay. But what we need to do now is apply hydrogen peroxide, which will burn a little bit the area and will disinfect it. And hopefully we're going to remove any spores of the fungi as much as possible. So what I will do right now is completely cover with hydrogen peroxide the entire orchid. On a usual basis, when I just want to prevent snails, I don't do this. I just spray the root system, whatever is in the medium and the base of the pseudobulbs. But in this case, I want to completely spray hydrogen peroxide on all of my orchid. It is not, however, a systemic fungicide, so let's not expect it to cure anything, rather to prevent. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. I'm gonna spray everything. I'm gonna sterilize my tools once again, and then we're gonna think about a pot to put it in. I think I can pot it as such. Yeah, I think this is the only way I can pot it. I have my hydrogen peroxide 3% here, and let us start to spray. I will also focus right here where I removed and I cut whatever I cut. There you go, that's how you bathe an orchid in hydrogen peroxide. And I'm actually going to change my gloves as well. When dealing with black rot, it's good to take any precaution because, oh my, that stuff spreads like wildfire. Okay, so my tray is cleaned of debris, and how I sterilize my tray after each orchid actually is with very strong alcohol. I'm just gonna pour a little alcohol in, spread it around, and that is it. There is one more thing that I would like to do before we actually pot the orchid, and this is cinnamon. So here we have some ground cinnamon. It's the one you can find at supermarkets. It is a very used product with orchids. Now, some sources suggest it naturally has some antifungal, antibacterial properties. I cannot tell you if it does or does not because I'm not a scientist and I don't have a laboratory. What I can tell you though is that it is a desiccant. And whenever you apply this to very soft tissue or open tissue, it dries it very fast. And dry tissue or dead tissue cannot get infected. So pretty much it's damaging a layer of superficial tissue, therefore prevents it from being infected. So what I want to do is put cinnamon in these wounds right here. I want to completely desiccate this tissue, particularly because I still have some blackness here. You can see it. I'm not entirely sure if I managed to remove all the infected tissue. So the only way to make sure the infection does not spread, other than removing the tissue, is killing the tissue. So that's what we shall do. First of all, I need to dry this area. It is excessively wet. After hydrogen peroxide does its thing, all you'll have left is water. So yet again, I will work with my trusty pair of tweezers, such a good tool to have, and I'll create a tip and go right in and try to dry these areas. If they're too wet, then cinnamon will not really act all that well. It will absorb the water that is already excessive and it will not start working right away. These areas are still damp. It's okay for them to be damp because we want the cinnamon to stick, but I want them to be damp with the sap of the orchid, not excessive water. Oh, look at this. So now for the cinnamon. I could use a Q-tip, but I'm too lazy to go get it from the house, so I'm gonna use my pair of tweezers, get cinnamon, put it in there. Let's see if this works. It actually does! Beautiful! It actually works better than the Q-tip because I can control how much cinnamon I take and where I place it. Bad thing with cinnamon is that if you put it anywhere else, it will desiccate in that area. If you put it on the roots, which do not have a cuticle to protect them, it will desiccate the roots. And never try to put any cinnamon or cinnamon-soaked anything on flower spikes. It will kill them. It will absolutely desiccate the area that it touches. I actually have a video on it. You can check it either in the info card, either in the description below, just so you see the effects of cinnamon and why we use it. Alrighty, I think this looks like enough. Okay, so another thing that I did was to cut away all of the dead roots, or what appear to me to be dead. These ones, I'm not sure how healthy they are, but they're still alive, and being that I will try to convert this orchid to semi-hydroponics, some of them will eventually die, but I just want them to hydrate the orchid as much as possible for the time being. At the same time, as you can see, I have quite a lot of algae on the roots. This can only happen in high moisture. So this orchid was already placed on clay, and I suspect it had continuous moisture and air so that the algae managed to form and thrive. Algae on the roots, pretty okay. I don't mind them. I'll try to control them, but this might mean that the roots are already acquainted with high amounts of moisture, which is good for me because semi-hydro is a high moisture setup associated with air as well, of course. So I'm just gonna fill around the roots with leca and I'll come back when I'm done. And here she is all potted up. I would have preferred to have dry leca, but I didn't. It was already soaking wet, so yeah, that's that. But I am trying to maintain this area as dry as possible with the cinnamon. And also, the noise you hear behind me, the buzz, comes from my fans. I had to buy 2 fans this year. The air was very stale outside this summer in comparison to last year that, yeah, I felt the need to get some fans, and that's what I did. So as you can see, things are moving around. Air circulation is really beneficial right now, and it will maintain that area as dry as possible. Alrighty guys, thank you so much for watching. I will keep you up to date, fingers crossed. I really don't want to lose this orchid, not only because I like it, but also it's one that I received. I didn't get it myself, so I just really don't want to lose it. It has sentimental value, so yeah, fingers crossed. So alrighty guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you've enjoyed it and learned something new. So you know the drill. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up. A share would be wonderful. And if you'd like to stay up to date or watch other orchid videos from me, simply subscribe to my channel. I post on a regular basis, and don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss a video. And with that said, I'll see you all next time. Bye! And I'm still waiting for the speciosa to open up. I am just dying with anticipation, but it takes so long, and every day this bud swells up even more, but it doesn't open. So just when I thought it would be a different color, it would be a more of purple than red, lo and behold, it's turning a little bit more red, brick red, especially towards the tip there. Can you see that? Kind of brick colored. Everything else does have a slight purple, let's say, hint to it, but it's kind of fading away and transforming into red. So really, I don't know how it's gonna be. We're just gonna have to wait and see, but it's taking a while.